What's up, guys? The big trade has happened. Bo Horvat is a member of the New York Islanders. So, Anthony Beauvillier, Aatu Raty, and the 2023 first round pick. What are your thoughts on that? That is insanity. Apparently, that the Boston Bruins were interested, the Detroit Red Wings were interested. You had a slew of teams that were interested in making this trade for Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat is having a fantastic season so far with the Vancouver Canucks, but now he's moved, so he's a member of the New York Islanders. And as you can see right now, at 27 years old, he is uh, on pace to potentially get 50 goals this year. He has 31 goals in 49 games, 23 assists for a total of 54 points. This year, he has passed last year's total, which is 52 points in 70 games, 31 goals and 21 assists. A couple of seasons ago, he got 53 points in 69 games. And the season before that, he got 61 points in 82 games. So he's on pace to have a career year, essentially. Anthony Beauvillier has been part of trade rumors for the longest time, even with Barry Trotz being the coach of the New York Islanders and seeing a lot of success under Barry Trotz. Anthony Beauvillier was always a guy that never really fit that team, always had trouble, cracking the top six and being a first round pick in 2015, 28th overall by the New York Islanders. He never really found consistency to his game. But now going to the Vancouver Canucks, with young guys like Andrea Kuzmenko and Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes, it seems like they're going to potentially build towards a youth movement moving forward. So, in terms of the prospect, essentially, you have Aatu Raty, which is probably their best prospect in the New York Islanders organization. Has only played 12 games for the New York Islanders, scoring 2 goals for a total of 2 points this year. Second round pick, 52 overall in 2021, drafted by the New York Islanders. Only 20 years old, so they get a 20-year-old player who's a center, and also Beauvillier, who's a left winger, 25 years old. So two guys that are younger than Bo Horvat. We have yet to see how this trade transpires for years to come. It all comes down to development, how Patrick Alvin will develop these assets into potentially becoming top six players in the Vancouver Canucks organization. Let's just take a look here at basically what was going on here in this deal. So the big key is at Aatu Raty. Vancouver's looking for young players who are ready to play, according to Elliot Freeman on Canucks return in Bo Horvat trade. So as you can see here, it's a protected 2023 first round pick because we all know the New York Islanders could potentially miss the playoffs this year. They're in a playoff race, but it's going to be tight when competing against teams like the Pittsburgh Penguins, Washington Capitals, the Buffalo Sabres as well, and potentially maybe the Detroit Red Wings. So needless to say, this trade caught NHL All-Star Game organizers a little off guard. They're not quite sure yet how to handle Pacific Division Center now that New York Islander Bo Horvat in the context of the event. So a lot of people are shocked. I was expecting a trade to happen before the All-Star Game. I wasn't expecting Bo Horvat to be dealt before the All-Star Game. I was expecting maybe someone a lot less significant, essentially someone that essentially would, maybe more of a minor deal, maybe a guy like Max Domi being moved from Chicago or something, but that's not the case here. Let's just look here. The trade deadline top prize is already off the board. Horvat will be a UFA this offseason. So here, just looking at it, so the condition is top 12 protected. The sum that New York Islanders are gaining is $5.5 million. So an increase of $1.35 million. The Vancouver Canucks are shedding $1.35 million, and they gain $4.15 million in this trade. as you can see here. Let's actually take a little vote here. Who do you think won the deal? I think the Vancouver Canucks won that deal. People are saying the New York Islanders won that deal. Okay. A lot of craze right now on Twitter in terms of this deal. People were saying that if, yeah, this people were saying f no to the deal that happened. Imagine if Boston had to give up, the same um type of assets in return. I know they were asking for Fabian Lysell. They're asking for Brandon Carlo at one point. That's not going to happen right now. But I wonder how this sets the market essentially with guys like Ryan O'Reilly and Jonathan Taves also being centers. Now that Bo Horvat, the prize possession, is off the board, and now Timo Meyer would be the biggest prize right now, in my opinion. So, just taking a look at this right now, it's pretty interesting to see. So when you realize that the New York Islanders just traded for Bo Horvat, who was a ninth pick in the 2013 draft, one pick traded to the Vancouver Canucks from the Devils, whose GM then was Lou Lamoriello, who is now the GM of the New York Islanders. Lou just undid the Corey Schneider trade. Okay, a little bit. Okay, a lot of Lou Lamoriello symmetry in this Bo Horvat trade. The Canucks, of course, took Horvat number 9 in 2013, the pick they acquired from the Devils as Lou got Corey Schneider. Schneider, of course, is playing for Bridgeport AHL team. So yeah, that's pretty crazy right there. Yeah, definitely the biggest blockbuster so far. This is amazing to see. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. We know we have our co-host here who couldn't make it, Luca. The first rounder's top 12 protected, like I was saying, and switches to a 2024 pick if the Islanders get a top 12 pick. And Ratty is a decent prospect. Okay, that's pretty awesome to hear. Let's take a look at Bo Horvat and his contract. Apparently, there's rumors that maybe there might be an extension in place for Bo Horvat, who is a UFA at the end of the season. What would you sign him for? Honestly, I mean, with the season he's having a career season, but he's a 50 to 60 point player. But he's a fantastic leader. And under the circumstances of Vancouver and all the rumors and drama that's been going on, I think he did a fantastic job. I would say $8 to $8.5 million for um, Bo Horvat in terms of an extension. Um, that's what I think would be reasonable. Let's take a look at Anthony Beauvillier and his contract and see how much term he has left on his contract. So Anthony Beauvillier, who is now a member of the Vancouver Canucks, he has an extra year left at $4.15 million. He's going to be a UFA, so hopefully the Canucks could sign him to a contract as soon as possible. And let's take a look at Aatu Raty, which I'm pretty sure is on. Yeah, he has 2 more years left on his current contract. He's an RFA. So, yeah, so the Vancouver Canucks get 2 younger guys, a guy with top 6 potential and Anthony Beauvillier, a fantastic player if properly developed in the Vancouver Canucks organization. You have Aatu Raty, which is arguably the best prospect for the New York Rangers. He could develop into something fantastic. They already have Jonathan Lakuramaki as well that they drafted in this past year. They're going to have another top 5 draft pick coming in this year based off the standings. They have a serious opportunity to draft Connor Bedard, but if not, maybe a guy like Adam Fantilli or Leo Carlson or Dvorsky as well. We'll take a look, or even Mitchkov. That would be fantastic to see as well. You have put goals in the organization. You have Niles Hoglander as well. There's a lot of guys coming up in the pipeline for the Vancouver Canucks. So, hearing that the Gary Bettman orchestrated the trade to get Bo Horvat out of the Pacific and keep him out of the All-Star game. Not again. Yeah, this is crazy. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Honestly, I do think that it all comes down to development. It says Luca states, imagine if the Islanders don't resign him. I think an extension is in place. They would be dumb not to get this deal done. They give up so much for Bo Horvat. So I really, really hope that a deal does happen. But guys, we'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Vancouver Canuck fans, what are you thinking right now? New York Islander fans, what are you thinking right now? And who won this deal? Personally, right now, I think it's too premature to say. If Bo Horvat does sign an extension, it does change the outlook of the trade. If Aatu Raty and Anthony Beauvillier reach their ceiling and they're properly developed, that changes things as well. Also, with the first round pick in 2023, top 12 protected, it depends who they draft with that. There's a lot of things to take into consideration, a lot. But let's just take a quick look right now at the 2023 draft ranking so we can have an idea of who they could essentially draft with their pick. So if it's tall, yeah, okay. So maybe Otto Stenberg, Oliver Moore, Callum Ritchie, Casper Haltunen, Riley Heat. I think that's his Heat. Ethan Gauthier. These are names to look at essentially. Colby Barlow, Ryan Leonard, Dalibor Dvorsky, Will Smith. Maybe those guys drop, and the Islanders could, the Vancouver Canucks could potentially snag one of those guys if they drop. But this is just a look of potential players they could draft with their 12. It depends if the New York Islanders are out of the playoffs. Essentially, but as of right now, I'm thinking as if the New York Islanders are out of the playoffs because there's a good chance that they don't make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But guys, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Young Guns podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this live trade breakdown.